What is good, everybody? Dawangthang here, bringing you another movie review, this time of Lou Over the Wall. So, for those who don't know, G Kids has recently been they've been, I think they're distributing. They've been distributing a lot of anime movies over here in the season. One of the nice things about this is not only are they releasing them on DVD, but they're also releasing them in theaters as well. So today I noticed that this movie was going to be showing in a theater near me with subtitles. They're releasing them with a dub and subs as well, which I really, really appreciate them going the extra mile for it. And the nice thing is, the theater near us by UCF, they tend to show both of them, but in this case, they decided to show the sub over the dub, which I'm really, really happy about. Otherwise, I was gonna have to drive all the way to Disney Springs, and I've been like 2 hours. But even there, they preferred the dub over the sub, but they still had one sub showing there, with like 3 dubs, I believe, which is a good thing. So either way, if you do want to support more animes being released overseas here in theaters, I do highly recommend checking out these films whenever they come from the Studio Ghibli Fest that are going on. Also, two of these movies that are being released by G Kids as well. So now let's get into this. So, Lou Over the Wall is a film by Masaka Yuasa. Basically, if you've seen Devilman Crybaby, this is the same creator. Unfortunately, I haven't. The other thing that this man has done is also Ping Pong the animation. I would say those are probably his two biggest things that he's done currently at the moment. Um, so if you I haven't seen Devilman Crybaby, but if you've seen Ping Pong the animation, he kind of has a really, really weird style to him, and I have to say the animation style does kind of carry over into this film as well. It's got a really interesting look to it, so it's kind of like a really bad sketchy look, as you can sort of see kind of right here with Lou. And then like it also has like a little bit of 3D, but not like the bad kind of 3D. It's a 3D that mimics the 2D style very, very, very well. And then also just like a lot of just weird, interesting, creative shapes. So the plot for this film is actually very, very straightforward. It's a standard. It's like kid meets like unknown creature sort of thing, and like sort of like uh, sort of just like kind of befriends them, and it's kind of that thing. It's like, oh, I can't show her to the world and all that. But then, like, through some antics, she ends up getting really popular because basically, in this world, it's actually really interesting the way they treat mermaids in this world. Basically, mermaids are attracted to song because they sing along, and of course, they had like the old legend was that if they sing, then people are gonna go with them to be lure them to their deaths. So they have that. So it's like they play a song, and then like she ends up coming out and singing with them. And then the other thing that happens is that they have magic abilities just to control water. So as you kind of see right here in this, so they're inside his house at this point, and she's literally just floating on like a block of water that she's just controlling. It's really cool how they play around with that idea. So they actually do like a lot of interesting things with it. So on that front, that's good. But yeah, it's a basically this kid, his name's Kai. He's kind of like a shy emo kid that doesn't want to really interact with people until he meets this girl named Lou, who happens to be a mermaid. And then after that, he becomes more social, but then stuff happens, and then kind of becomes a shut-in again. And more shenanigans happen, and then the day is saved and whatnot. So I don't really think this is a movie where you really have to worry about spoilers. I think once you watch it and you kind of know what the plot is, then you kind of know where it's generally gonna go. But overall, this is one of the strangest movies I've ever experienced. Like, I can't say it's a good film, and I can't say it's a bad film. It's just wholly unique unto itself. Like, I wouldn't say the characters are anything special. Lou's really interesting to watch, and she's sort of cute. She's really strange. Some people might not find her cute. Some people said that her face is just really creepy and scary. It gave me a lot of vibes of My Neighbor Totoro. So if you like that movie a lot, there's some things in here that I think you would enjoy. It's just there's a lot of fantastical creatures that are here. Just a lot of imagination with how they play around with the sea creatures as well. And it's like they just kind of go on like all these experiences. I would say. I think it's the best way somewhere. There's just like a slice of life of just all these subtle experiences that happen with this boy, his group of friends, and this girl named Lou. And then she has like a dad too that does like a lot of really, really strange things. It's kind of really hard to talk about this film. I guess overall, I guess I could just break it down into a couple of categories. But honestly, I don't think that's a real just way to do this. But I'm gonna do it anyway. So I'd say animation wise, this film does a pretty fantastic job. It's not like the most pretty, most detailed looking thing in the world, but all the animations are very fluid. They're super cartoony, something like out of the 1920s, I would say. It's got a very like American 1920s animation, so it's got a really really interesting style in that aspect. Um, so it's like, I wouldn't say the artwork's like the greatest thing in the world, but the animation carries it through pretty well, and the artwork does work at the end of the day. But it's just don't expect something like hyper detailed like you'd see in a Miyazaki film. Characters, I'd say it's pretty weak on this department. You're not gonna really remember. You're not gonna really remember any of these characters. You're gonna more or less remember the visuals and what happens, and then the creative things that they do with this. I would say plot. Plot's pretty bad. It's really really straightforward and generic. So this isn't a movie you see for the plot or the characters. It's more of a movie that you'd see just for the whole experience of it. I wouldn't say this is a movie that you watch to enjoy by shutting off your brain. I would just say you're not going to really don't go into this movie expecting anything super deep and meaningful. Like just go in expecting to have a good time, and I think that's what you're going to get out of this film. So if you love anime, you love animation, I would highly recommend seeing this just to support it. And I do believe like if you are a fan of one of those two things, especially My Neighbor Totoro, I do think you will at least get some type of enjoyment out of this film. It's definitely not a film for everybody. I think it's something that you could bring your kids to see and whatnot. I think they would enjoy it just fine. But other than that, yeah, I honestly don't know how most people will react to it. My theater was extremely quiet when this movie finished. People were just kind of confused. I think there was like an older couple in the background, and they had no idea what the hell they experienced. And frankly, I kind of don't know what I experienced either. I can't decide if I liked it. I can't decide I hated it. But I am glad that I did see it and then I did support them for this. So take that as you will. And yeah, that's my thoughts on this.